Hey everybody,
I'm Samantha.
And I'm Kayla.
And we are your hosts for
Yes.
Couvered.
Yes, and today we are going to be basically comparing the traits of a biblical woman.
Yes.
We're going to be looking at
Proverbs 31.
and Titus 2.
Yes.
And see what we can learn from it about being better women of God, better...
Daughter? No. I don't know what you're trying
Kind
to
of, and kind of ministers as we prepare for, being wives and stuff like that, and, being moms and all that good jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Being
that's
moms.
not right now, but...
Oh. For one of us, and it ain't me.
It's not me either. So anyway, the second chapter of Titus basically is giving advice to the elders of the church and instructing elders how to act, behave, and operate in the church. And I wanted to point out this chapter because even though it's dedicated to elders, it gives us clues onto how we should behave and how we should act as well as children of God. So that's why I wanted to touch on that.
And I feel like, when you really look at it, I guess we're all elders to somebody. Technically. They're, maybe not directly, but someone somewhere, I feel like could be looking up to you. Who knows,
For sure.
After Kayla reads Titus, I will be going into Proverbs 31, and it's a popular one. I'm sure, the women have heard of Proverbs 31. If you haven't read it, it's short, and it's basically about the wife, how a wife should kind of care for her household, how she should carry herself, basically her character, and it kind of gives a lot of character traits about how a woman is an ideal woman of God.
Let's start with Titus 2, which says, "You, however, must teach what is appropriate to sound doctrine. Teach the older men to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-controlled, and sound in faith, in love, and endurance. Likewise, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to too much wine, but to teach what is good. Then they can urge the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure, to be busy at home, to be kind, and to be subject to their husbands, so that no one will malign the word of God. Similarly, encourage the young men to be self-controlled. In everything, set them an example by doing what is good. In your teachings, show integrity, seriousness, and soundness of speech that cannot be condemned, so that those who oppose you may be ashamed, because they have nothing bad to say about us. Teach slaves to be subject to their masters in everything, to try to please them, not to talk back to them, and not to steal from them, but to show that they can be fully trusted, so that in every way they will make the teaching about God our Savior attractive. For the grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. It teaches us to say no to ungodliness and worldly passions, and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in this present age, while we wait for the blessed hope, the appearing of the glory of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ, who gave himself for us to redeem us from all wickedness and to purify for himself a people that are his very own, eager to do what is good. These then are the things you should teach, encourage and rebuke with all authority. Do not let anyone despise you."
That was good though.
It was.
It's a good chapter.
Yes.
And I feel like it's literally a guideline to not starting a church, but how to act in church.
Yes.
So.
A lot of things that people don't take into consideration.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that I wanted to touch on with this chapter is, one, teach the older women to be reverent in the way they live, not to be slanderers or addicted to too much wine, but to teach what is good. And by slanderers, I think we all know what they're talking about, gossip. And as a woman, it's just so easy to fall into the trap because you just don't realize that saying just something turns into,
gossip.
Yeah. It just seems like just a casual conversation. It doesn't seem like you're intentionally trying to hurt somebody, but sometimes people do get hurt. And so it's important to be aware of that. That's the first thing I wanted to touch on.
I feel like there has been a lot of moments recently in my life where it's just a casual conversation, and it is a form of gossip, because then, something happens down the line and it's just like, oh, well,
you didn't know.
Yeah, maybe I just
literally, you don't know how many times I was like, gosh, if I just close my big mouth. And again, it's not like you say things with malicious intent, like, oh, this is gonna get them, like,
no.
but that's how it comes across.
Right.
And there's a verse that says like gossip will break apart even like the closest of friends or closest of brothers and stuff like that. So definitely just be aware of what you say, how you say it, to who you say it to. Like, just be very cautious about the things that exit your mouth.
And I think another way to kind of reword it, if like you don't know if it's gossip or not, is just sharing information that's not yours. I guess necessarily to share. But take that as you guys will. You know, gossip can be in many forms, but like you said, it's not malicious sometimes.
All the time.
So, you know.
And the second thing was to urge the younger women to love their husbands and children, to be self-controlled and pure. I just want to touch on the self-controlled part. Society really teaches or pushes like feeding your flesh, like whatever urges you have, like you deserve to go ahead and do that. You deserve to, you know, there's no nice way to say that.
No, but like what you said, like I feel like it sums it up. Like feed your flesh, like, you know,
all the bad things your flesh desires and craves. Society tells you it's okay to go ahead and do that and feed your flesh. But the Bible, one of the like greatest lessons it teaches, or principles it teaches, is self-discipline and being self-controlled, because we're going to be tempted with lots of things. We're going to go through a bunch of different situations, but it's all about being disciplined and being able to tell yourself like, no, this is what the flesh wants, this is not what my spirit, or you know, what God wants for me. And then the final thing, it said to be subject to their husbands. And again, I know a lot of people, they hear that and it's just like you get the ick, like you want me to be like a slave to my husband. And I don't think that's it. Because if you paid attention to in verse 2 where it says teach the older men to be temperate, worthy of respect, self-controlled, sound in faith, in love, and in endurance. If a man is all of those things, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to give him the world. You know, like he's not quick to be angry, he's not, you know, aggressive with you or trying to fight you or things like that. Worthy of respect.
Heavy on the worthy of respect. That, you know,
like he plays his role as a man. You know, he does what he needs to do. He makes sure you're taken care of. He's taking care of your kids, whatever. Third, he's self-controlled, so you don't have to worry about him being impulsive and doing reckless things, or trying to feed his flesh. And he's sound in faith. And if you're sound in faith, that means you are a fellow follower of Christ. And that means you're operating out of love. You're operating out of, you know, like just a hunger for doing what is pleasing to God. So if that man was your husband, why wouldn't you want to? You know?
Like submitting to your husband, or what did it say, subject? To, like, I feel like it's just a way of words, but it really is like, you know, if the husband is really acting like that, the husband is that, like, you would have no issue. And I feel like girls who, or women who have that kind of husband or have that man in their life, I feel like you guys will understand what we're saying, because it comes so easy. Like, loving them is so easy. Subjecting yourself or whatever, submitting yourself, it just comes so easy because they make it easy for you to do so.
Safe too. They make it safe.
Yes, they make you feel so safe, so loved, and you're not gonna question it. It's just like, oh, okay, like, you know. So
those were the things that I thought was really like that stood out to me from Titus 2. So that's what I wanted to share today.
I think that was really good. I feel like a lot of people, you know, should kind of refer to Titus 2 when kind of thinking about how they should kind of go about being in like the church, being a wise, or being someone who's really involved. Because I feel like when people are really involved in the church, you have influence, and people will look up to you, people will ask you questions, and it's a good chapter to kind of reference to. So
yes, guys, so check it out. Do your own Bible study on the enduring word if you have it.
So there's a few things from Proverbs 31. I'm gonna go ahead and read it all, but I wanted to just preface with Proverbs 31 has a lot of characteristics that are ideal to be a woman of God, but they are obviously not exactly something that we all might really encompass in ourselves, and that's okay. Like, you know, this is kind of like a guideline, if you will. And it's not saying that if you don't follow every single one of these, you're not good enough, but it's kind of just like, you know, God would love to see these in us, and it's something that we can work up to. So, yeah.
Also, I found out Proverbs 31 was written about multiple women.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
No, literally, because it makes you feel like, oh, I gotta be this, I gotta do every single one, check off the list.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, I don't know if it's impossible.
Right.
But I just know I definitely do not check off many things on this list. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. I am starting with the wife of noble character, so verse 10. And it goes, a wife of noble character who can find. She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still dark. She provides food for her family and portions for her servant girls. She considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the staff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Give her the reward she has earned, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate.
What a woman.
What a woman! My goodness. And I feel like I really want to just go into everything and just kind of dissect it, because there's a lot here, I think, that, you know, to talk about. We're starting with, she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. So, you know, you wrote your poor life into him, and I feel like I agree 100%. And, you know, emphasis on brings him good, not harm.
Yes.
You know, it's kind of just like be his peace, you know? Don't bring unnecessary drama, don't bring unnecessary things that can just wreak havoc, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be kind. Like, I think a lot of times in relationships, it's very easy to take things out on the people closest to you because they're always there, you know? So I think that just serves as a reminder that they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Our job is not to do that to them, but instead to pour life into them, even if, you know, we're not feeling it. But okay, I have the perfect analogy. So, you know, at work, like there's always one grumpy person, and you're just like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
And then there's always like one extra happy guy who goes out of his way to like just be like, hey, I'm pretty sure behind that grumpy person is a wife who does not like treat him kindly, and he comes to work and takes it out on everybody else. He comes to work and takes it out on everybody else, and then the other guy, you know, he's getting poured into at home. He's being told he's loved, and you know, he's appreciated and all of that, and it allows him to show up as his best self at work.
Exactly.
So just think of that the next time, you know.
No, and that's a good point, and I feel like I saw something similar. Not the exact same, but it was basically how, you know, let's say you come to work and it's like grumpiness or whatever, some guy or girl feels the wrath of their boss, I don't know. Then their day is ruined, they come home and they take that same like energy that they got from work and pour it out to their children and their husband, you know, and then next thing you know, their day is ruined, and then I don't know, the husband and the children take it out on friends, coworkers, whatever. The cycle is just repeating, you know.
Yeah.
So break the cycle and stop with the toxicity.
Yeah.
So, and the next one, she selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. And that's basically, you know, she wants to work. She wants to be able to be productive and like, if there's multiple verses actually on that. You know, she is like the merchant ships, bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it's still night. She provides food for her family. She wakes up early. Before, what was it? Still, when it's still night, it's talking about before the sun rises.
Yes.
And it's like, because when you get ahead of that, like you're waking up before the sun rises and you're getting a head start on your day before like everyone else usually, and because of that you're putting yourself ahead of the day, and therefore it's allowing everyone else to also get ahead and productivity and, you know, just be on top of it. So that's something I wish that I need to work on that one.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. And also, when you do wake up earlier, like at the crack of dawn, that is great alone time, and it's good quiet time with God too. I think a lot of us, though, if we were to wake up earlier, like, we would have all these plans, but as soon as we get up, it's just like, I'm about to go back to sleep, you know?
That's really it. And I've tried so many times to, like, wake up early, and I go back to sleep.
Okay, this is a little bit off topic, but for me, I just don't like being the only one awake. It's so scary.
Yeah. Nah, that's a good point.
It's so scary.
It's a good point, because it's just like, it's dark, it's quiet.
Too quiet.
Like, there's no noise, and then you can't make no noise because
everybody's
sleeping. So it makes it a little hard. Yeah.
But it's good advice.
It is.
And I aspire to be like that.
Yes, I agree. I second that one. And it also says that, you know, she provides food for her family. So, you know, most of the time the guy is the provider. But even so, you can see here, the woman, the wife, she's still providing for her family. I mean, you guys can take it as you will, but that doesn't, I guess, necessarily mean she's, you know, working a job or something. But she's putting food on the table. She's cooking. She's doing something to provide food. So, but in this case, I think she is working. So,
and to add to that, I heard somebody say, like, whenever you give a woman something, she multiplies it.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect example. Like, you know, the man goes out to work and he provides the money for the groceries, gives it to the woman. The woman will take it and multiply it and turn it into a full meal, and you know, nobody's hungry.
I'm glad you said that, because I was just thinking about how you said, you know, when you give a woman something, she multiplies it. And even with 3 ingredients, like you said. So back in the day, you know, bread was like a big thing. And I mean, don't get on me, but wheat, flour, water, like, they didn't have all those seasonings and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that seems like that's about it. And you could make, I mean, depending on how much the guy gives you the money, buy the groceries, you can make tenfolds, like. And I also love here where they put that she considers a field and buys it out of her earnings, and she plants a vineyard. Like, sis is investing. Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many things in here, like, at least right here, but also in the Bible, about investing in what you have and, you know, making it into a vineyard.
I did not interpret that verse as investing. That's such a great perspective. I literally took it as, oh, she gardens, like she cultivates her own food, you know, so she doesn't have to depend on, you know, anybody else. But,
I mean, you know, that could work too. I feel like there's so many different interpretations that you can take out of it. I mean, they're all positive. So,
true.
But yeah, the way I took it was that she like took her earnings and invested it into that land. Now she has a vineyard where she can provide for herself and, you know, possibly sell it, because I don't know. Yeah, here we go. She sees that her trading is profitable. And her lamp does not go out at night. So she literally, you know, provides for herself, provides for her family, and takes what she has and invests into it.
That was a gem.
That was good.
Sprinkle.
I hope that made sense, because it's just like, you know, there's so many different interpretations. So
that was good.
Thank you. And then, okay, what else does she say? I mean, she also has here about, you know, holding the distaff and grabs a spindle and, you know, creating stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but with our big announcement coming up, it's looking like we're kind of checking that off our list too. Yes. So
investing, using our hands.
Yes. But that's future reference.
Yes.
But it also says she opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. And, you know, that's saying to be selfless, and that's kind of just it's giving to those who need it more than we do, you know? And even if we do need it, but it's just being selfless and not just thinking about yourself, but also thinking about others, serving others, which therefore is serving God. So
yes, and I wanted the next verse from that, where it says, when it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet.
Yeah.
The scarlet was very high quality fabric at the time, and she had no fear because, like, she has faith. That's how I interpreted it.
No, I agree.
Okay.
No, I definitely agree, because, like, the fact that she has no fear, I mean, yeah, like, you know, they're clothed in scarlet, like, she obviously has like a good life for herself, but she has no fear doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, it's because she has all this stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's because I think it's because she has faith
and knows the Lord will sustain her. So I think that's also something something I forgot to list in my list of all the traits that I found. But having faith, or being very solid in her faith.
No, I think that was really good. I agree. Yeah. And then, so in my study Bible, in this next verse, so it says, her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes a seat among the elders of the land. And in my study Bible, it was saying that he is respected at the city gate because of the way that she acts, from her reputation. So his reputation is good because of hers. Like, they see him, oh, you got a good wife at home. Like, you're well off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what my study Bible did. And if you guys don't know, study Bibles are, like, you know, definitely look into which one is best for you. But they're, like, from scholars. They're from people who study the Bible. So, like, definitely do your own research. But majority of the time, they are resourceful. They are reliable. Definitely cross-reference and stuff, but that is what mine said. So
that was good.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, and I was like, you know, the fact that she has a part in his life. Like, it's not just, oh, the man dictates the woman's life, and, like, if he's good, she's good, or whatever, you know, vice versa. But if, like, she's doing well, like, it makes him look good too.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, that is a common theme in the Bible. A lot of people, you know, will say that women are just, like, so bottom of the totem pole in the Bible. But to me, what it's starting to seem like is that women are just more of the behind the scenes power, right? And then the men are like the in your face, you know, power or whatever.
Right.
But behind every powerful man was a powerful woman. So I don't know. That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
No, I love how you tied it in, because it reminded me of what you said in Titus about, like, the whole, like, behind the scenes. It kind of, like, with this also, it kind of ties all together, where the woman really is, like, kind of behind the scenes, and whatever goes on at home, he's going to carry with him. So when, like, she submits herself to him, and brings him good and everything, he brings that to the gates, and that's how people perceive him.
It's like we just unlocked the secret power of being a woman. Like, your behind the scenes power means just as much as
him. Like, him going out there and, like, he's just the face, he's the representation of just, like, you know, but we're a team, you know, and so when whatever goes on at home, whatever she's dictating in the household, he's gonna carry that out with him.
Yes.
So
that's good. Unlock your superpowers today as a young lady.
I like that. Unlock your superpowers. Okay, that was good.
Is it title?
And it says here, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom. And I love that, like, you know, it says that she makes linen garments, sells them, and then they also use that as another, like, theme where they said she is clothed with strength and dignity.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, it speaks for herself, you know, like, she's strength, she has strength, she's strong, she's a strong woman for her household, for her husband, and she's dignified. I mean,
with dignity, like, she probably carries herself really well in public, and obviously she does, because, like you said, her husband was well respected. Right. So because of her dignity and how she carried herself, her husband was well respected.
Yes.
You know, she's strong.
That is so good.
She's wise, and she gives faithful instruction, which means that she gives, like, godly advice, not worldly advice.
Exactly. And, like, she speaks with wisdom. So, like, she gives, like I said, godly advice. And I think like, it shows that people can come to her, people can seek her out, and it said here that her children and her husband call her blessed, and they praise her. And he even says that many women do noble things, but you surpass them all, because she does all these things, and she surpasses, you know,
the average woman. I tell you that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that, all of this right here kind of just speaks for itself. You know, there's not too much to really go into, but it's pretty good. And, there is, though. It says she watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. As in, she doesn't just sit by and wait for people to do it for her. She does it herself. She's not just going to wait here and wait for her, like, servant maids to come get her or do it for her or whatever it might be. She's not standing idle. She's going to do it.
She's not lazy.
No, she's not lazy.
And I also wanted to point out, she can laugh at the days to come.
Yes.
I think that's just another way of saying, like, she has so much faith. She doesn't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. She takes it day by day. She's very lighthearted.
Exactly.
And she's able to enjoy life. And that's something that I think, like, we get so caught up in the day-to-day and, you know, things that are going wrong that we forget to just laugh and enjoy what we do have. So
exactly. And then they carry it home. And it's just a cycle. It's like literally tying everything together.
And the last view I wanted to touch on is charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. We're going to stop right there because, like, you know, you can be as charming as you want. You can look good for everybody. You can...
Yeah, you can look good for everybody, you can do all this, but at the end of the day, you're gonna grow old. You're gonna grow wrinkles, you're gonna sag, like, whatever it might be. Because it's gonna fleet. Like it says, beauty is fleeting. It will go away from you. We're gonna age. But a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised, because that will never leave you. And that's, like, the faith that you have in itself is beauty. And so a woman who fears the Lord, who has that faith, who is a woman of God, it will always show on you. You'll always have that glow of God on you. You'll always have His favor on you, and it will show, and it'll make you confident. Everything else is deceptive, is fleeting, whatever. But, yeah.
And as we all know, I love to speak about it. We live in a time where, you know, beauty and charm is praised. Like, how many people do you have on your roster is praised? How much money are you getting out of men is praised. The more money, the better. The bigger the gifts, the better. I was watching a show and I noticed, I was watching the show. This young lady, she was married. She no longer is because of cheating. So, like, it was a... like a reasonable reason to get divorced. But, like, afterwards, she was on a date, and, you know, the guy got her a Chanel bag. And that's very nice and all, but it's like, sometimes it just seems like that's all people care about.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, ooh, I can't wait to put this on, but, like, and I feel like we put so much emphasis on the material and, like, what can this person do for me? What can this person get from me? That we forget to look at the character of people. Like, do they love the Lord? Do they fear the Lord? Because somebody who doesn't is going to act completely different from somebody who does. And we forget that, end up in relationships we're not supposed to be in, friendships we're not supposed to be in.
Situations in general.
And places.
And places. That's the thing. Like, girls will go after these things. They'll make themselves beautiful and all these things just so that they can get the materialistic items.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys cannot lie and be like, I've never really seen it. Sugar daddies.
Yes.
OnlyFans, like, it's because you want money.
And it's all push.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone makes it seem okay. And that's how you find yourself in places with people that you shouldn't be in places with, in a situation that can potentially turn dangerous, you know, and it could have been avoided if you realize that, like, you don't need all of that. You know, you are beautiful, yes, but you don't have to put that on display to put yourself in a degrading situation. Or, I don't know if we should say, but in a situation.
And also at the same time, just because you get the work done, you get those lip fillers, you get that nose job, that BBL, whatever it is, that doesn't mean you're guaranteed that lifestyle. Like, that lifestyle does not automatically come with those self-enhancements. And I think, you know, a lot of days, since it's pushed so much, people automatically think that if they get this surgery, if they fix this one thing, that they're going to be living just like the influencers on Instagram. But again, like, a lot of y'all don't know, these influencers are really struggling sometimes. Some of them are successful, but some of them are really struggling. And so just be careful who you look up to. And I don't know how we got here, but
no, and really quick, just to add on to that, and I feel like, you know, that touches a lot on like the beauty aspect, but it also touches on the charm aspect, because all like these influencers and stuff, they're using, yes, their beauty, but also their charm to keep you interested. And it is very deceptive, because some of them really are struggling. They'll move out to wherever they think is going to get them more influence and more popularity, and half the time it doesn't work out. They gotta, you know, they're struggling a little bit, and it's okay to struggle, but it's like they, you know, went out there with just lip gloss, dreams, makeup, I don't know what it is, and vibes. That's it. No other plan. And it like it's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm not, you know, bashing on anyone that does do that. It's just, it's not a stable thing. But what it is stable is God.
And that's all we have to say about it.
That's really it. I mean, it said it all for itself. So
yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, we're happy to have you here.
Yes.
If you would like to request any prayers, go ahead and click the links down below.
Yes.
Don't forget to check out some of our digital products. We have free journals and templates, and we also have paid journal and templates as well for Bible studying and things like that. And I think I hit on everything.
Yeah, I think that was everything.
Okay, so we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
And bye.